Hey fellow patriots, Bravo Echo here. Just wanted to come out and chat with you for a few. It's been a week and a half or so, wanted to come out and do a walk around while the weather was tolerable and chat with you some from the garden. While I took a look at how and where things are at on this mid-July evening. So let's get started. All right. Walked out this evening to take a quick look in the garden. I haven't been able to get out here for a few days. Been battling a crud and almost pneumonia, so it's made it really difficult to breathe out here in the 90+ degrees and humidity and the Canadian smoke. It was here most of the day today, but wanted to come out and do a walk around, take a look at things. Got lots of work to do. Basically, it's been a week, roughly. Got lots of tomatoes still. They're really producing since we put some of that go-go juice on here, the mixture of banana peeling in water for a week with crushed eggshells and coffee grounds strained, and we poured it on everything, and stuff has gone crazy, so it's a good thing. Sweet potatoes are growing. We picked we still have some beets. Picked a mess of beets a week and a half ago, and canned a canner full, so I think we got 10 or 12 pints of beets. We've canned, I think, 25 to 30 pints of green beans. You can see the green beans. There's still some beans hanging over there. I'm getting ready to pull all the beans up and plant new beans. I've already picked 2 full runs off of the beans, so they still have a lot of flowers on them, but I want to get in a fresh crop of beans for September. So if I can get up to about 40 to 50 pints of beans for the year out of that one box, I'll be perfectly pleased. And so the sweet potatoes are growing really well. You can see them kind of around the beets. The broccoli went haywire. I gotta get here and trim it back. The kale, we've picked 1 head of cabbage. I actually had it for dinner this evening with some kielbasa. But you can see just putting that juice on here in a week and a half, the difference that it's made. I think I still have 2 heads of cabbage down there. I only planted 3, so this was actually the first year we had cabbage that survived. Got a few peppers growing in there. Got cucumbers galore. I got cucumbers running out my ears. You can see I got regular cukes and I got some pickling cukes. Every time I come in the door with cucumbers, Miss Lucy screams. Because other than eating them on salads, different kinds of salads, I usually can them. So one of the differences this year was in the past, everything was a little more organized, and I had kind of rows and blocks. And this year I planted basically anywhere I had a space, I planted a seed. I wanted to make the most of available space in the 3 boxes. So that has paid off. It's a mess in here right now. Got some fresh green beans coming up. I got some turnips in there, some peppers, carrots, and so forth. I still need to get in here and tie up the cantaloupe. You can see right here. Get the cantaloupe. It's on about day 80, 85-ish. So I need to get in here and kind of manage and separate that. All of our blueberries, we've picked all the blueberries, and we've left some for the wildlife. And I think all in all we got in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 pounds of blueberries, and we froze some of them, and then Miss Lucy made some outstanding blueberry jam with honey, some honey, some quality honey that was gifted to us by our Patriot brother and sister down in North Georgia. So we made use of that, and it turned out really, really good. It's kind of crazy. I've already picked 2 loads of beans, and I still have some beans in here. I don't have enough to can, so we'll put them in the fridge and have them for dinner, most likely. So we have some more goat juice we're going to actually put on here probably in the next week. It's about 5 days old right now, but we basically took, when we canned beets, we boiled all the beets, and then we skinned them as required, and we saved all the skins in the water that we boiled them in, and we're letting it set for about a week, and then we'll pour the beet juice into the garden as well for vitamins. So another nutrient for them. I'll let you know how it goes. So still struggling on squash and zucchini. We have had 0 squash and zucchini this year. I do have a plant over here, zucchini, that is flowering. This is the most any of the plants have grown yet this year. Normally we have an abundance of squash, spaghetti squash. Last year we went into winter with about 8 to 10 spaghetti squash put away for the winter. So it's just interesting from season to season, the weather, how your weather and climate and dirt, how all these things impact what you're trying to grow. And posted a video with Brother Otis last week, and we were talking about the importance of learning your soil and your seeds and growing. This is a perfect example why. Just you never know what is or isn't going to produce. If you have good seeds, bad seeds. I think I told you a few videos ago that I pulled out some of my emergency seed vault and tested some of them earlier this year, and none of the seeds broke ground, and they were in the ballpark of 4 or 5 years old, had never been opened. So just something to think about if you're going to be dependent upon what your garden's producing. You might want to get out there and start testing it. Raised bed is one of the easiest ways to do that, so just something to think about. Alright, so I grabbed some more tomatoes and some more cucumbers. This is since yesterday morning. I picked about 15 tomatoes yesterday, and I'm really enjoying the tomato, mayo, and onion sandwiches. I don't know if you Used to have those growing up on some soft bread. Maybe your grandmother or your mama used to make them for you in the summertime. They're quite enjoyable. My grandmother in Western Virginia on hot summer days would make us either a tomato sandwich with mayonnaise, salt and pepper on soft bread. And sometimes she would fry some bologna and have a slightly charred piece of bologna on that sandwich, and it was tasty. And now, 50 years later, I still enjoy them quite well. So got all the beans picked and pulled out of the ground. I actually have enough beans for probably 3/4 to another full canner. So if that's the case, I will end up with right at about 30 pints of Blue Lake beans off the first run. Then come around September, Lord willing, we'll start picking the next planting. So if we can get 50 or 60-ish, 45, whatever we're blessed with, it'll be enjoyable and a good year for green beans out of a raised bed. So I don't know about where you're at. It's been quite miserable. The heat is 88 to 90, 92 degrees, humidity up in the 80 to 90 range, and we've had a air quality warning all day today from the Canadian smokes passing through here in East Tennessee all day. So it's made it a little difficult to be out here trying to get past this almost pneumonia and move ahead. So I hope you all are doing well. Hope your gardens and your boxes and your planters are all producing, and hopefully you're healthy and finding a sane way to avoid all this crazy stuff that's taking place in the world. I just read late today the U.S. is getting ready to deploy I don't know if it was a battle group or a battleship with a group, I'm not real sure, to the Middle East for tensions with Iran. And this goes on top of the call-up last week, the announcement of the call-up of the certain number of thousand of ready reservists. And I'm just curious, it said to support Department of Defense and Homeland Security, how they plan on using these reservists for Homeland Security. They can legally do so under the excuse me, under the National Response Framework, the NRF, which came out after I believe Katrina, which now allows people and resources under the federal government can be interchanged amongst services and so forth. But I heard no mention if they're going to take them to the border or what they're planning on using them for. But I want you to think about something. You know, we're all different ages. I served for 20 years, wore the uniform, and I fully support and still support and defend our country, and I have no problem with that. But what I have a problem with is we just came out of 20 years of war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we haven't even replaced the equipment that was left behind, given away, whatever how you want to look at it. That's another story. And we have thousands and thousands of young men and ladies who are maimed for life. They're missing limbs, destroyed their families, destroyed marriages, and they're totally dependent now upon support from the federal government and the VA. And God bless them, you know. But the problem I have is, take a look around you. It may be your neighbor, it may be a stranger in a grocery store, it may be your grandson, it may be your kid, it may be your spouse. And it can be a man or a woman. Having been there and worn the uniform and been across the pond and witnessed war and conflict and watched strangers die and watched Americans die, you just see it from a different perspective. Maybe that and aging. If it's in defense of our country, that's one thing. But to send them forward to get involved in a war that's not needed, not wanted, we can't afford it, we don't have the equipment for it, we're not trained these days. We all need to call the White House hotline and talk to our state representatives, and we need to demand an immediate stoppage and an open forum televised discussion with the Defense Department and our elected officials answering why we need to send our troops forward to potentially die on foreign soil. Okay? Watching another human die is one thing, but watching someone you know die, it stays with you for the rest of your life. And we just don't need that. So give it some thought, and if it touches your heart, reach out and make that phone call. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So over the coming weeks, if you're not already noticing it, pay close attention to, you're starting to see a lot of distractions. You're starting to see a lot of media negative voices. Example, Sound of Freedom now is under attack across the media. You know, they came out and they got their praise, and now there's voices going on as pedophile specialists that are calling some of these folks who are sounding the alarm. They're calling them pedophiles and all kind of crazy names. Folks, it's the good versus evil. If you can't see whether you're a spiritual person or not, if you can't see all the demonic forces that are currently moving quickly throughout our society in so many different platforms, from academics, our children, some of our churches, actually many of our churches probably, if truth be known, our government, our society as a whole. I'm even seeing people, it's crazy, I'm even seeing people go on popular podcasts where these podcasters are basically putting out video supporting, helping you learn something or information with thousands or 100,000 viewers, and there's people going on there attacking them. You know, keyboard warriors, spineless, wimpless, absolute zero integrity whatsoever. Men attacking female podcasters. It's just absolutely It says a lot about where we're at in this country right now. And it's a crying shame, to be truthful. It's an absolute crying shame that even in the preparedness world, there's people backstabbing people and so forth. People who are trying to one up and outdo. You know, it is what it is. To this point, it's a free country and people can come and go as they desire. They can go watch what they want to watch. They can comment where they want to comment, you know. I just think it's a crying shame, and it's I don't even know if there's a word for it. When men, born biological men, go on podcasts and openly start criticizing the host of the podcast. You don't know anything, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, send them a private message if you don't like what they're saying. But you don't have to call them out. What does it prove? That your chair's 2 inches higher than the other person because you're a keyboard warrior? You know, get a set. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The Titanic's going down, the House of Cards is falling, and you got people internally of the House of Cards and on the ship deck playing Nana Nana Boo Boo. Folks, it's time to get it together. Your time is running out, and if you want to sit around and wait on the 911 pizza delivery, more power to you. Just when it doesn't show up, just don't say a lot of folks didn't sound the alarm and tell you, okay? Give that some thought. So stay focused, keep preparing, keep your head on a swivel. Don't get distracted with all the debates that's going on and people arguing over preparedness and all the crazy stuff. Just keep doing your own thing, okay? And until next time, I'll chat with you soon. Bravo Echo out. Be blessed. So it's not too bad for 2 pickings in the last 24 hours from the raised bed garden. 3 boxes. Got lots of tomatoes, as you can see, cucumbers, pepper, turnip, and another full load of green beans. So that's actually 3 loads or 3 runs of green beans off of the original planting from May. So that wasn't expected. So anyway, you know what? If I can do it, you can do it. So what are you waiting on? Have fun.